Welcome guys. Today we are going to see about 8255. It's nothing but programmable peripheral interface. The another name of 8255 parallel communication interface. Right? The parallel communication interface. So what is the use of 8255 means? In microprocessor, if you connect any input device or output device, we need ports. The ports is not available in any processor. So we need some interface that will be connect any input output device with the microprocessor. So what interface will be suitable for you connect input output device with the microprocessor means 8255. So through that 8255 only we can connect any input output device with the processor, right? So this is the need of 8255. The IO device you cannot directly interface with the processor because there is no IO ports. So through this 8255 we can connect any input device. So input device means the low device. There is a low peripheral device, ADC, DAC, keyboard. So these are type of device connected with the your computer microprocessor system through this 8255 interface. So in 8255, so we have the three ports, port A, B, C. So port A and B, there are 8-bit IO ports. So we can connect input device as well as the output device. And the port C we can divide into two 4-bit IO ports. So port C lower as well as the port C upper. So there are 4 pins, PC0 to PC3 is the port C lower and the PC4 to 7 is the port C upper. So why we can divide this two port means I will detail later, right? So these 3 ports we can form, there are 2 groups. One is that group A that will be consist of port A and port C upper, and group B that will be consist of port B and port C lower. So there are 12 pins form the group A, another 12 pins form the group B. So in this 12 pins means that port A 8 pins and port C upper 4 pins, and group B means it will be consist of port B 8 pins and port C lower 4 pins. So it is the block diagram of this 8255. That will be consist of data bus buffer, read and write control logic, group A, group B control, and 3 ports, port A, port B and port C. So already I said in group A there are 2 ports, that is port A 8-bit IO ports, port C upper there are 4-bit port, and group B one is that the 8-bit port B and the 4-bit port C lower, right? So it's a 12 pins form group B, this 12 pins form group A. So first data bus buffer. What is mean by buffer? So buffer means become the temporary data storage. So this side microprocessor is there, this side the IO device will be there. So there are 2 different type of device. So you can synchronize the speed between the 2 different type of device. We can need the buffer. According to the speed of the processor, it will be place the data into this buffer. According to the speed of the 8255, it will be take the data. So like that vice versa. So in data bus buffer, we can write 3 points. So it is a bidirectional buffer, right? So it is a bidirectional means processor to 8255, 8255 to the processor. It's a bidirectional buffer. It's mainly used to connect the internal data bus of this interface with your system data bus. System data bus means your processor data bus. So any data you can transfer between the processor and this 8255 through this buffer only. Okay, so through this buffer only any data transfer will be done. Next, read and write control logic. In read and write control logic, there are different signals. Read, first one RD bar is a read signal. It's an active low signal. Whenever this signal is low, that time only the processor is able to read the data from this interface, right? From this 8255. Like this write, it's an active low signal. Whenever the signal is low, that time only the processor is able to write the data to this interface. And CS bar, chip select. So whenever the communication is established between the processor and this interface, this signal will be active low signal, right? Whenever this signal is low, that time only the communication is established between these 2 different type of peripherals and your processor. And reset, active high signal is used to reset this interface. And A0, A1, these address signals used to the information coming from the processor, whether data or controller, right? So this A0, A1, based on this A0, A1, we can separate that into information will be data or control word. Both are 0 0 means the information is data, the data go to port A. If it is 0 1, the information is the data go to port B. It is a 1 0 means information is data, the data go to port C. 1 1 means the information not a data, it is a control word. What is meant by control word means this will be defined how this interface will be worked. So what mode we can choose, whether it acts as the input or output. So all the information we can control by the control word. Always the control word only coming from the processor. We can configure your interface. After that only data will be coming from the processor. The data will be stored into any one of the port, either the port A, port B or port C. So first you can make this both A0 and A1 both are 1 1. Then we can control word send to your 8255. That will be configure your interface, right? So any data will be coming means the data go to either port A, port B or port C. Suppose the control word coming from the processor, that will be stored into group A control and group B control. Group A control the port A and port C upper. Group B control the port B and port C lower, right? Next to port A. Port A is the 8-bit bidirectional ports. There are 8 pins is there. Port A0 to port A7. There are 8 pins. It's the bidirectional input and output. When it acts as the input port, it is used to receive the data. When it acts as the output port, it is used to transmit the data. So depending upon if we can connect either input device or output device, it will be act as whether input or output. Like that, the same port B is the 8-bit bidirectional port. So it is the port B0 to port B7. When it acts as the input, it is used to receive the data. When it acts as the output, it is used to transmit the data. Like that, port C, there are two 4-bit ports, right? Port C lower and port C upper. So we can connect the 4 input device or 4 output device. When it acts as the input, same, it is used to receive the data. When it acts as the output port, it is used to transmit the data. Apart from this, port C acts as the control signals. That means suppose your application needed some control signal means we can send the data either port A or port B. For example, we can connect the printer. So printer connected in port A means we need some control signals. That means the busy signal, write signal. These control signals we taken from port C upper. Like that, is the data sent from port B means we need the control signal. That control signal we taken from the port C lower. So port C lower act as IO port or control signals depending upon your application, right? So this is that your block diagram explanation. So next will be operating modes. There are two types of operating mode. One is the IO mode, input output mode, and BSR mode. BSR mode means bit set reset mode, right? So bit set reset mode only applicable for port C, because port C only we are using control signals. Whether the port C individual pin that will be set or reset, that will be decided by your BSR mode, bit set reset. So only used for port C. The port C only we can set or reset, because port C only we can act as the control signal. And IO mode further we can divide it into 3. Mode 0, simple IO mode. Simple IO mode means all the 3 ports are act as IO ports. Okay, we can connect input output device, all the 3 input output ports. Okay, all the 3 ports are act as input output mode. There is no control signals. So your application, there is no need of control signal means we can choose mode 0. Suppose your application need a control signal means we can choose mode 1, handshaking IO port, that is the control signal IO port. So here port A, port B is the IO port, port C act as the control signals. And mode 2, bidirectional IO port. So in the bidirectional IO port, port A only IO port, port C upper control signals. So there are 3 type of IO mode. Like that, control word. So there are 2 type of control word, BSR control word, IO control word, right? So first the BSR control word, already I said only this control word used for port C pin selection, and selected pin set or reset we can decide it. Okay. So control word will be common. There are two type of control word, BSR and IO. How we can differentiate whether it's act as a BSR or IO depending upon the MSB bit. So MSB bit 0 means it is a BSR, this 1 means IO, right? So control word always 8-bit control word. So here the D1, D2, D3, this 3-bit used to select the any one of the pin in the port C. So depending upon the pins, the more bit selection. So it is a 000 means the pin 0 will be selected in port C. It is a 001 means PC1 selected. Like that 111 means there are PC7 selected. So you can select any one of the pin first, and selected pin set or reset, that will be decided by D0. D0 1 means selected pin will be set. D0 will be 0 means the selected pin will be reset. And how we can identify whether it acts as the BSR mode means this D7 always 0. Okay. So D7 0 means BSR, 1 means IO, right? So next will be IO control word. IO control word means we have the 3 ports, whether the port acts as input or output, what mode it will be operate, all will be decided by your IO. So here D0. D0 means that is the port C lower. Port C lower there are 4 pins. So what type of device we can connect, whether input device or output device. So that will be decided D0. So D0 pin 0 means all the port C lower we can connect output device. 1 means we can connect the input device. Like the D1, port B. In port B there are 8 pin. What type of device we can connect? In all the 8 pin we can connect input device or output device. That will be decided by D1. D1 will be 0 means all the 8 pin we can connect the output. 1 means we can connect the input device. Next D2, port B mode selection. So port B acts as either mode 0 and mode 1. So what mode we can choose, that will be decided by D2. D2 0 means the port B operate in mode 0. D2 1 means the port B operate mode 1. So like that in D3, port C upper, there are 4 pin is there in port C upper. What type of device we can connect, input or output? So depending upon your D3. D3 0 means output device, 1 means input device. Next D4, port A. Here not your port A, input or output. So port A 8 pins, whether you can connect input device or output, that will be decided by your D4. And D5 and D6, port A mode selection. So 0 means mode 0, 1 means mode 1, 1 means mode 2. Finally the D7, always it will be 1 for IO control word. So it is the IO control word, 1 means IO, 0 means BSR, right? That's all. Okay, so 8255 mainly used to provide the IO ports, okay, for connect input output device with the processor, right? So another name of 8255, programmable peripheral interface. So peripheral nothing but input output that will be interfaced to the microprocessor through the program. So we can call it as a programmable peripheral interface. Another name of 8255, parallel communication interface. Why it is called parallel communication interface means from the processor it reads the parallel data sent to IO device in parallel manner, like the vice versa. From the IO device we can receive the data parallel, sent to your processor also in parallel. So 8255 another name, parallel communication interface. Main advantage of 8255, fast data transfer. Disadvantage means distance will be very less. That means 8255 and the IO device, the distance maximum 50 feet. More than the 50 feet data will be transferred means data will be lost. So that purpose we are going for serial communication interface. That will be we can see in the next class. Thank you.